Dale Earnhardt Jr. shuts down some ugly rumors regarding his departure from NBC. How's it going, y'all? My name is Eric. Welcome to Out of the Groove. If you're coming to Phoenix Raceway this weekend, be sure to stop by the NASCAR Experience stage Friday at 3 p.m. and Saturday at 12:30 before the Xfinity Series race. I will be recording a live podcast episode with Xfinity Series driver Brennan Poole. We should have lots to discuss, should also have some time to meet up with fans before and after each show. Gonna be a good time. Hope to see you all there. Lots to get to today. You know what I like to say on this show? I live on social media so that you don't have to. I've seen quite a few interesting posts, threads, discussions, rumors circulating this week. Dale Earnhardt Jr. even had to chime in to silence one. We will get to that in just a few moments, but first, the TV ratings for NASCAR at Las Vegas are in, and they're pretty good. According to Nielsen ratings, 4.359 million viewers tuned in to the Cup race on Sunday, up 9% from last year's Las Vegas race on Fox, which scored 3.9 million viewers. It was the most watched sports event of the weekend, peaking at 5.2 million viewers towards the end of the race. And it's the second Cup race in a row to see year-over-year ratings increases. Really, nearly every Cup, Xfinity, and Truck race that hasn't been impacted by weather this season has seen viewership increases. So that's really exciting. Fans notice good racing. Atlanta 2 weeks ago was a fantastic race with a thrilling finish that made highlight reels across the country. It's great to see some of that hype translate to several 100,000 additional viewers the very next week. Besides having a quality product, there are two things that make a sports league successful in America. You need to have superstars and you need to have parity, good competition. Think about it. The NFL is by far the biggest sport in the United States. They have both. They have superstars like Tom Brady, now Patrick Mahomes. Taylor Swift being at the Super Bowl absolutely boosted those ratings. But they've also got the parity. My Houston Texans were a laughingstock a year ago. They hit on a couple of draft picks and won a playoff game less than a year later. The NFL has superstars and it has parity. That's why it is top dog here in the States. Let's look at motorsports though. And I'm going to compare NASCAR to Formula One. Formula One absolutely has the superstars. Netflix Drive to Survive created superstars here stateside. But right now, Formula One has absolutely zero parity. Think about when Formula One was booming here in the United States, 2021, you had up-and-coming superstar phenom Max Verstappen racing wheel to wheel with the legendary Lewis Hamilton. The season came down to the final lap of the final race. Great stuff, ratings soared. Since then, it's been the Max Verstappen show, and last season, ratings in the US dipped 10%. And based on what I saw this past Saturday, I expect ratings to continue to decline for Formula One because while they have the superstars, they have no parity. The competition is not good. NASCAR is almost the exact opposite of Formula One right now. They have some superstars. You know, NASCAR is a big brand here in the United States. It's got 76 years worth of history. But more than anything, NASCAR has the parity right now. I mean, we saw it at Atlanta, the closest three-wide finish in motorsports history. The cars are more equal than ever with SMT data. I think the drivers in many ways are more equal than ever. That prevents superstars perhaps from emerging, but it's increased the parity immensely. That's why we got great racing at Atlanta 2 weeks ago, saw that ratings increase. Fans notice good racing. If NASCAR can fill that superstar meter up like they did in the 90s with Earnhardt and Gordon, then NASCAR could absolutely take off and soar once again. It's just interesting to compare F1 to NASCAR. F1's got the superstars, no parity. NASCAR trying to build superstars again, but they've got a ton of parity going for them. And fans, again, I keep repeating myself, fans notice that good racing, viewership increases 2 weeks in a row. Let's hope this trend continues. I will say this, Ben Kennedy, NASCAR officials, they knew exactly what they were doing moving Atlanta to the second race of the season. Casual fans love pack racing. Give those Daytona 500 fans something similar to look forward to in week 2. Carry that momentum further. I know the Daytona 500 was rained out, but this theory seems to be working out beautifully. Moving on, last week, The Athletic reported that Dale Earnhardt Jr. would not return to NBC. Instead, he will join Amazon Prime and Warner Bros. Discovery's NASCAR coverage starting in 2025. Naturally, this blockbuster deal had many fans wondering What went down between Dale Jr. and NBC? Was it strictly a money disagreement, or was there something more to it? Now, to defend many of these fans for a moment, Dale Earnhardt Jr. went on his podcast last week and suggested that he and NBC sometimes butted heads and had different broadcasting philosophies. I'll play some of that clip.
If I continue to broadcast in NASCAR, I want to be at the racetrack. I'm never going to work a job where they're like, man, we're going to have you here in Charlotte and call the race from this remote location. I need to see the track. I need to see the energy. I need to feel the fans. They always told me, don't react to anything that's not on the screen. The viewer can't see it at home. That's wrong. Don't do that. I don't believe in that. I think that's BS. I'm going to react if I see something happening that's not on the screen. I don't think that's a rule that I'm going to abide by.
So those comments, especially when Dale Jr. says, they didn't want me doing this or that, led to plenty of fan speculation on social media. One particular Reddit thread made the rounds and actually caught Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s attention eventually. Let's start there. This was the original, as far as I can tell, anonymous Reddit comment that caught everyone's attention. From Cobbler Sad, NBC wanted Dale to stay in the Charlotte studios with Burton and Allen and call the races remotely. Also, NBC and Jr. often clashed behind the scenes as Jr. was yelled at on the producer channels because he kept taking his eyes off the TV monitors in the booth. Jr. likes to actually look out of the windows and call a race. NBC management doesn't like that. Now, that post I just read you has since been edited, but this was Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s response to the original post. This is all untrue. NBC is not considering a remote booth, and I was never scolded for anything. NBC was amazing, and everyone there taught me a ton. I promise that's the truth. Nothing but respect and love for everyone there that I came in contact with. So Dale Earnhardt Jr. coming in trying to clear the air. Who's telling the truth? I'm sure much of that original post, that original theory is inaccurate, or at the very least is embellished. But at the same time, I don't think Dale Earnhardt Jr. is being entirely truthful, considering he was on his podcast just last week. I played you the clip talking about how, perhaps they had some differing philosophies. Now, he never mentioned NBC by name during that podcast clip. I don't know, maybe he did some prior TV work years earlier, but I think he's talking about NBC, and he does say that they wanted him to do things a certain way, and he disagreed. Does that mean he was yelled at by producers, as the Reddit thread suggests? No, probably not, but did they have disagreements? Yeah, I bet they did. So I do believe that original Reddit comment was likely a little over the top, not totally accurate. But at the same time, Dale Earnhardt Jr., maybe he wasn't scolded for broadcasting the way he did, but it does sound like he and NBC occasionally disagreed. Is that what led to his exit? Probably not. I think Dale Jr. joining Amazon and Warner Brothers Discovery more comes down to money. Amazon in particular has been known to throw big bags of cash at talented people to sort of buy their own legitimacy. I'm sure they offered Dale Earnhardt Jr. a fantastic deal. They're going to build a broadcast team around him. I think that's why Dale Earnhardt Jr. chose that deal. I don't think it had really anything to do with bad experiences at NBC. Obviously, I don't know for sure. I just have to take what Dale Jr. says at face value, but I do believe that part of his post. The part about remote broadcast is especially interesting. I agree with Dale Earnhardt Jr. I think remote broadcasting in many sports is not great, but in NASCAR especially, when the venues are so large, there's so much happening that the cameras just can't get to. I think it's very important to have multiple eyes in the sky, picking up on every detail that's going down, communicating with producers, with directors to, hey, there's a battle going on over here, you should probably get a camera over to it. Like, that is extremely important. We've heard Fox do Truck Series broadcasts remotely, and you can tell the difference. It's not as good, it's not as tight, it's not as engaging as when they're at the track. I like when Dale Earnhardt Jr. butts in with, hey, car in the wall, wakes me up, gets me out of my seat. Whoa, what's going down? I'm ready. I much prefer that than when a wreck happens, the cameras catch it halfway through, and the broadcasters are taken by surprise. Oh, I guess there's a spin over here. I'd much rather Dale Jr.'s style than that. Obviously, that's subjective. Other folks might disagree. With NASCAR's new production facility opening up in Concord, North Carolina, I do believe there will be more remote aspects to broadcasts in the future. Hopefully, it's just, directors and producers maybe calling the shots that's done remotely. They've talked about having race control officials make some calls remotely. I hope that doesn't mean broadcasters will be calling races remotely, because I agree with Dale Earnhardt Jr. You miss so much if you're not there at the racetrack looking out over the entire facility. I'm looking forward to hearing Dale Jr. with a new broadcast team next season. And like I said last week, I think NBC without Dale Jr. will still be fine. Worse, probably, but still good. I mean, Rick Allen, Jeff Burt, and Steve Letarte have been in those roles together for almost a decade now, right? Since like 2015? Gosh, time flies. I think Rick Allen is better than a lot of fans give him credit for. He's not perfect. He's not Mike Joy. He's not Alan Bestwick, but he's serviceable. I think Steve Letarte is highly underrated in the crew chief slot. And Jeff Burton maybe isn't always the most polished, but I do appreciate his honesty. He usually calls it like it is, isn't afraid to shy away from criticism. So Dale Earnhardt Jr. leaving does hurt that booth, but I think they'll be fine on their own. I actually agree with something Denny Hamlin said on his podcast this week. He likes this move because it spreads out the broadcasting talent. You know, you've got Mike Joy, Kevin Harvick seems really good. Even Boyer, he'll find his place over at Fox. NBC, like I just said, those three guys have been together. They've been doing it for a long time now. Dale Earnhardt Jr. goes to Amazon Warner Brothers. That spreads out the talent. We don't know what those companies are going to surround Dale Earnhardt Jr. with, but having Dale Jr. there absolutely makes those broadcasts better. So spreading out your talented people throughout the entire calendar is a good call. I agree with Denny Hamlin on that take. What do you think down in the comment section below? Are you looking forward to Amazon and Turner/TNT/Max's broadcast next year? Who do you think they'll surround Dale Jr. with? What do you think led to Dale Jr.'s departure from NBC? I believe it was strictly money, but do you buy into these other rumors that he didn't agree with their broadcasting style? Do you think there's any truth to those? Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. We talk NASCAR every single day here on Out of the Groove all throughout the year, and a big thank you to my very generous Patreon supporters. Have a wonderful rest of your day, folks. I will catch you again real soon. Take it easy, y'all.